Meeting my boyfriend's parents. I walked into the house and froze. How could Adrian be my ex-boyfriend? My brain did a full 360-degree aerial spin of shock. My boyfriend noticed my weird expression. "You guys know each other?" "Nope, never met," I blurted. Adrian kept staring at me, then finally smiled. "If you say we don't, we don't." Before we go on, subscribe to this channel and tell us where you're listening in the comments. I wanted to laugh, but nothing came out. The table glittered with dishes. Clearly the ex-boyfriend cared a lot about his nephew's future. Seeing his girlfriend was me, he was probably grinding his molars to dust. Beside me, Theo was still chattering about our meet-cute and whirlwind romance, totally oblivious to the suffocating weirdness hanging over the meal. I felt something brush my ankle. I jumped so hard my chopsticks clattered to the floor. Theo bent to grab them. I beat him to it. Thank God, it was only a cat. Masonry, the cat we'd raised together. After the breakup I'd lost custody. I hadn't seen the furball since. He was circling me, purring like a broken tractor. I could fake strange with the ex-boyfriend, but apparently also with his cat. Theo's eyes went wide. "He only lets Adrian touch him. Looks like he's crazy about you." Across the table Adrian strolled over, casually scooped Masonry up. He leaned back, long legs crossed, stroking the suddenly spooked cat. My cat recognizes people. I didn't dare lift my head. "Probably smells Theo on me." As if he couldn't sense my mortification, Adrian's voice stayed cool and detached. "How long have you two been together?" Theo twisted his napkin, beaming, and laced our fingers. "Almost 6 months. Love at first sight." "She's the one." A stretch of silence. "Love at first sight," he echoed. Only then did I remember, I'd used the same line. I'd fallen for Adrian the exact same way. We met at an academic conference. He was tall, elegant, already had 5 top-tier papers at 28, giving the keynote. Smart, gorgeous, modest, who could resist? I was happy just drooling from afar. Totally smitten, I tossed dignity aside. "Senior, I like you." He looked up from his paper, sharp brows pinched in annoyance. But when he saw me his tone softened. "Sorry, I don't date strangers." I took it as code, get familiar and he'd say yes. "Mom, he basically proposed." So I launched a thunderous siege. Hot breakfast delivered at dawn, engineered coincidences, weather updates, the works. Adrian was gentle but aloof. Presents returned, love letters rejected, only research questions answered. I thought I'd lost. One downpour I found him crouched on the curb, soaked. I held my umbrella over him and discovered a kitten wedged in the wall. Its eyelids had been clipped, abused, hissing at his outstretched hand. The crack was barely 8 inches wide. At 6'3" Adrian's back muscles strained the dripping white. Before he could stop me I squeezed in. "You crazy? There's broken glass." Panic cracked his usual calm. I hauled the kitten out, staggered, and his arms caught us both, warmth bleeding through wet clothes. We named the survivor Masonry. Dating followed like water finding its level. But those 2 years were on again off again. He never really liked me, just felt indebted over the rescue. Public rules, no PDA, no photos, no anything. Private Adrian was a different species. The moment the door shut he turned ravenous. Great technique, zero afterglow, like being run through a dryer. The night I ended it he sat on the bed buttoning up with that infuriating serenity. "Reason?" he asked without looking at me. "I'm not into you anymore." A chilly and we were done. "Jillian, try this." Theo snapped me back, slipping a shrimp onto my plate. I stared at it, shellfish, allergic, and he has no clue. Adrian's gaze drilled into me. I swallowed the shrimp and grinned. "How'd you know it's my favorite?" Adrian snorted, then served me another. "Since Miss Sterling loves them, have more." "Seems Theo's memorized all your favorites," he emphasized, acid on the last word. Only Theo beamed like he'd aced a quiz. I set my chopsticks down. "Excuse me, restroom." Behind the locked door I gripped the sink, cheeks flaming. If I'd known, nothing could have made me say yes. Truth, I'm his contract. Theo's my underclassman. Since he turned 21, his mom's been auctioning him off. This year Eleanor swore, bring a girlfriend for New Year's or she'd sell him to the highest bidder. In desperation he begged me, $500,000 plus free lab labor till graduation. $500,000. Free slave. All for my startup grant. I signed before I thought. Fate's invoice was waiting. Hiding solves nothing, a low voice said. I whirled. Adrian filled the doorway. What are you doing? I hissed. He locked the door and stepped closer. Let me look. The familiar woodsy scent closed in. I backed against cold tile. He brushed my hair aside, exposing the rash blooming on my neck. So this is what dating now looks like, self-poisoning? Better than dating you. I slapped his hand away. We're over. I'm Theo's girlfriend, back off. His eyes pinned me. Does your nephew know he's your stand-in? I shoved him. He's no stand-in, he's 10,000 times better than you. Get out. Now. He lowered his gaze, fighting something, then said nothing at all. Footsteps and Theo's voice came from the hallway. Jillian, you okay? My body froze. No matter how I hit him, he stayed as immovable as a wall. I hissed a warning, voice low with panic. We broke up. I'm Theo's girlfriend now, have some self-respect. Why not let him in and see whether we know each other? Are you insane? That's your nephew. What, am I that embarrassing? Theo and I had signed a strict NDA. If he found us like this, the contract would be void. I spun in frantic circles, tears stinging my eyes. My vision blurred. I only heard the man sigh softly. You like him that much? The restraining scent in front of me faded, then came the sound of running water at the sink. When I opened the door, Theo blinked at the two of us. How come you're both in here? A calm voice rose behind me. The soap dispenser was empty. I brought a refill for Ms. Sterling. I tilted my head 90 degrees toward the ceiling. $500,000, definitely hard-earned. That evening Theo drove me back to the hotel. He figured my nerves were just part of playing the fake girlfriend. Bless his bright, clueless undergraduate heart, I exhaled in relief. He gave me a conspiratorial wink. Pretty hot, right? Your eyes were practically velcroed to Adrian. Eyes? Big deal. I used to sit in his lap. I sounded sulky. You dragged me to meet the parents, and the only parent on duty is your Adrian? Theo's face crumpled like a puppy's. Opportunity of a lifetime. Mom's abroad, so Adrian's standing in. If she were here, I'd be toast. Senior, please nail this performance, my whole future is riding on you. I inhaled to smother my irritation. Whatever. The $500,000 comes first. In my room Theo went full sidekick, scanning for hidden cameras, tweaking the water temperature, then, finally, asked about his senior project calculations. I wanted to scream. Even on New Year's Eve he's study-obsessed. No wonder he can't keep a girlfriend, the guy's brain is 99% textbook. I talked till my throat sandpapered, he listened like it was Netflix. Midnight came and he still wouldn't leave. I was ready to kick him out when his phone rang. Adrian? Need me? Urgent? Got it, on my way. He bade me a dramatic farewell, hammering home how crucial it was that I keep selling the girlfriend role. As if I didn't know. Still, seeing the ex looking unfairly spectacular in a white shirt made my traitor heart flutter again. After I shut the door, my phone buzzed, WhatsApp, from the man who'd gone radio silent. Antihistamine's on its way by courier. Adrian never used to overstep like this. Was this courtesy for his nephew's girlfriend, or for his ex? So considerate, Adrian. Did my boyfriend approve? Adrian, don't worry, I won't bother you again. Me, then why drag Theo away? Did ruining our sexy alone time seem fun? He shouldn't be out alone at night. He's 21. You do know we were right in the middle of something? Interrupting your nephew can mess with his head, you realize. The typing bubble pulsed forever. I got tired of waiting, washed my face, headed for bed. Then a video call invitation popped up. On screen, my flushed, just splashed face, eyes bloodshot from lecturing Theo all night. I cleared my raspy throat and grabbed a sip of water. His gaze sharpened, Adam's apple jerking. He asks like that and you just say yes? It was only a holiday night tutoring marathon, but okay. What did he do wrong? He spent the whole night drilling problems with me, sweating over every step, got a few wrong, big deal. On camera, Adrian pinched the bridge of his nose, the phone clacked as he flung it to the desk. From my angle I caught him sprawled, long legs apart, rubbing exhaustion from brow to bridge. Guardian duty looked draining, and stupidly hot, throat, chest, everything on display. I secretly screenshot. You look wiped. I'll let you go, get some sleep. After that night, Adrian kept his word and stayed radio silent. My first 200 grand hit the account. Theo said the moment he graduates he's off to Wales, out of Eleanor's air traffic control. Once he boards that plane, the final 300K is mine. Ecstatic, I blew part of the windfall on reagents my advisor had blacklisted. Rumor had it the guest speaker for today's colloquium was gorgeous. My bestie dragged me along. The lecture hall was packed, only a few seats left. Usually they bribe grad students to fill rows. How handsome did a guy have to be to break fire code? Then the owner of those long straight legs strode in, tailored charcoal suit, slim gold glasses, every inch the polished scholar. I gaped. My ex-husband was now faculty here? Damn, the suit did him favors. I snapped a pic and WhatsApped Theo. Looking this much like him is basically winning the genetic lottery. My bestie tugged my sleeve, face lit with popcorn-level glee. Whoa, Jillian, look up, now. Confused, I lifted my eyes and wanted to crawl under the seat. The projector was mirroring incoming texts, giant on the wall. I'd sent it to the wrong chat. Both men used solid black avatars. She elbowed me, whisper chanting. A college's youngest professor moonlighting as somebody's stand-in, girl, the drama. Let me guest star for 2 episodes. Jordan, I wanted to die on the spot. Adrian's laser pointer hand froze midair. Without missing a beat he resumed the talk while the hall buzzed. I couldn't take it. Claiming nausea, I slipped out before Canday. Outside, a sudden downpour. Umbrella-less, I hovered under the eaves until the rain let up. A wide black umbrella settled over me. Where to? I'll drive you. His dark eyes pinned me. The stunt had clearly bruised his pride. The session had ended. Students poured out. He stood a head taller, impossible to miss. Everyone's smirks said they'd connected the dots. I wanted a one-way ticket to Mars. It's fine, Alice. I'll wait it out. Adrian nodded, checked his watch, then closed the umbrella and stationed himself at my side. A colleague offered him a ride. He waved them off, claiming he was waiting for someone. He said nothing about the text, just stood there like we were strangers in a bank line. Awkward didn't cover it. I prayed for the skies to shut off. But the downpour only thickened, the corridor emptied until only we remained. From above, his voice came again, low and calm. Where are you headed? I'm taking you. Why aren't you leaving, Miss Sterling? Still waiting for your first? The mockery in his voice made me feel like a kid whose parents forgot to pick her up on a rainy day. I couldn't stand another second with him. I threw my hand over my head and sprinted into the downpour. An e-scooter came barreling through the rain and knocked me flat. Through the haze I saw Adrian racing toward me, panic all over his face. My last coherent thought was, thank God I blacked out. I woke up gasping at the campus clinic. The doctor said it was only scrapes plus a mild concussion. After he'd gone, the poor undergrad who'd hit me, still apologizing and who'd paid the bill, was finally shooed away. Adrian walked in carrying a bag of meds. Ow. He pressed my bruised knee and I yelped. So you do feel pain? Running blind into a storm, some things never change. Only then did I notice his hair was dripping and his tailored suit soaked. What about your precious Theo? Didn't come for you in the rain, didn't come after the accident. We were strictly cash and carry, how would I know his schedule? Still, we'd signed an NDA, so I smoothed my tangled hair and offered a forgiving smile. Theo's probably tied up. I'm fine, no need to bother him. Adrian snorted, half laughing in irritation. He ignores you and you're this devoted? He's just busy lately. He's not usually like this. He looked down, warming liniment in his palm before massaging my knee. It stung. I tried to pull away, but he tugged my leg back. Busy? Looked pretty free while posting video game screenshots on Instagram. I almost choked. I was covering for the kid and he kept dismantling my alibis. I scrambled for a new excuse, boys will be boys. You're his Adrian, shouldn't you understand? I'm not asking as his uncle. His voice dropped, each word gritted between teeth. I'm asking, as a man, what the hell does Theo have that's worth this? I froze, the heat in his eyes scorched every prepared line. When I stayed silent, the fury in his pupils flared hotter. Jillian, when did you learn to lie to yourself? He stepped closer, tall frame eclipsing me, the familiar cedar musk scent mixing with cold rain. You like him so much you'll trade your pride for it? Looking at him, something stabbed my chest. I was back to chasing a man who never warmed up, realizing at the breakup it had all been one-sided. Lying to myself? I'd majored in it, thinking effort could make him love me, until the end, when I learned it never would. Adrian's thumb brushed my cheek, only then did I feel tears. I twisted my face away. Cameron, you're out of line. This is between Theo and me. I grabbed my bag to leave, but he caught my wrist. His voice was low, hoarse, rain sliding down his temples, oddly vulnerable. Jillian, you deserve better. I do resemble him, so how about me? His usually slicked back hair now fell in wet strands over his brow like a drenched puppy. Was this the uptight ex-boyfriend I remembered? Bullseye, my heart pounded for a reunion. I shook him off and fled to the dorm, privately slapping myself. Jillian, snap out of it. No more begging for scraps. Mrs. Hawthorne seemed to be back in the country. Theo had been spamming Instagram. My ex had also flipped some secret switch. Nephew posted a sweaty, six-packed basketball shot, campus hardwood gleaming. Caption, another day of my girlfriend bringing me water. I liked and commented, amazing, baby. Scroll up. Uncle's pic, foam covering half his face, white tee plastered to an 8-pack after a burst pipe. Caption, fixed it. Exhausted. I liked it, he deleted at once. Nephew shared an MVP video game screenshot. Uncle reposted an article, dating a gamer will ruin you. I blinked, stunned. Was Adrian serious? I wasn't the only one sniffing something off. Theo, Sr., things feel weird. My heart lurched. Did he know? He laid it out. He'd sent his draft thesis to Adrian as usual. Adrian rejected it unread. Your skull is hollow. Finishing this much is a miracle, and reading it is my act of charity. Theo, wounded, sent his lit review charts, for icy words came back a visual disaster. And the dining table was suddenly full of foods he hated. The house lost power whenever he launched a game. I think he's found out we're fake. If he tells Mom, I'm toast. Senior, we need to act more lovey-dovey, fast. Being a double agent between uncle and nephew was driving me insane. Thoughtful Theo booked a private cinema, pick any movie, snap a cozy hand-holding photo, then opened his laptop. I peeked, weekend PPT grind? Poor kid. My phone buzzed. Adrian, what are you doing? Watching a movie. With Theo? How did he know? I checked Instagram. Theo had posted a shot of our intertwined hands on a cushion. Caption, spoiled by my senior again bliss. I facepalmed. The kid would do anything to fool his mom. I snapped a photo of the cozy room. Theo sure knows the right spots. Back when I'd begged for a private cinema, the old prude refused, claiming I'd grope him in the dark. Ever since we dated, dim bars, cinemas, karaoke lounges, even hallway corners, he guarded me like I was a cat burglar. Adrian, where is he? I glanced. Theo was knocked out by homework. I took a photo of him slumped, asleep. Adrian, so he's not even keeping you company. I was ready to snap back when the next line came. Let me keep you company. How? By coming here. No reply, but a video call flashed. I picked up eagerly. He sat rigid in a white, bow-tied shirt thin enough to reveal hard chest curves, gold-rimmed glasses reflecting his study, sleeves rolled over strong forearms. Is watching a movie with me like this okay? My face flamed. The left and right sides of his white shirt looked pilled, and I couldn't tear my eyes away. I only coughed twice when I heard him speak. Just like this? Then how do you want it? The outer corners of his eyes behind the gold-rimmed glasses were tinged red, his thin lips pressed tight. I'll do whatever you say. Theo's long, even breathing drifted from the side, pricking goosebumps over my skin. Then undo the buttons. A big, veined hand, knuckles sharp, trembled as it tugged the tie loose and started on the first perfectly fastened button. The phone angled down, lean waist, clean lines, the chair forcing him to squirm, sculpted abs flashing. Though the glasses hid them, both ears burned scarlet. Avery, you know what I want to see, right? His clenched jaw gave a tiny nod. Wordlessly he pulled at the leather belt. My eyes felt magnetized, but then his hand froze. What's wrong, Avery? Shy? Is he still asleep? I shifted the phone to show the side. Relax, out cold. So, Avery, aren't you going to indulge me? Seeing Theo, he self-consciously covered his chest and went silent. As if I'd let this chance slip. Ellis, you don't want your nephew finding out, do you? Pink crawled from his cheeks downward. He hung his head like he'd just made an enormous decision. Then come to me, okay? I hung up, dumped the snoring little nephew, and zipped off in a cab to find his uncle. Too thrilling. Adrian had never let me play like this before. He was under the building, white shirt buttoned all the way up. Who'd guess what he'd just done on video? I rose on tiptoe, seized his tie, and tugged until he bent slightly. He looked like a fledgling on his first day, cheeks crimson as he pushed me away. Shattered starlight swam in his eyes, his pale lips tinted rose, yet his voice stayed cool and hard. Not here, someone might see. Oh. Then I'll leave? He caught my wrist, thumb brushing lightly. That's not what I meant. As though nerving himself, he leaned down and kissed my eyelid, then draped his coat over me, hood hiding my face completely. A strong arm circled my waist, half carrying me into the elevator like he was shielding me from every gaze. The moment we stepped inside, Masonry heard familiar footsteps and scampered to the door. Too bad Mom and Dad couldn't spare him a glance. Dad sent the door slamming with a gust, stripped off his glasses, and the darkness in his eyes spilled out. The panel rattled. He slid fingers into my hair, clamping my head. A scorching kiss landed on the corner of my mouth, inching, licking. Sweat dripped from his brow, erotic and ascetic. His hand glided down, squeezing my waist until I went limp. He nudged the cat hugging his ankle and walked me toward his room. Passing Theo's door, I couldn't help a glance. He seized my lips again, fiercer, hotter, possessive. Don't look at him, look at me. The door slammed. I sank into bedding thick with the scent I remembered, his burning weight pressing down as he brushed my hair aside. Soft kisses rained over my throat, collarbones, earlobes, turning me to jelly. Jillian, kiss me, Jillian. Since when had he learned this? Insatiable, that was Adrian right now. As though he couldn't survive losing me again. Your mind's wandering. What are you thinking? His low, hoarse voice curled into my ear. He nipped my lobe in revenge and I yelped. Wondering when the movie ends. You're thinking about him? What's he got that I don't? Is he more thoughtful? Earns more? Better at research? Each question drove him harder. I wanted to kick him off. He's younger than you. A long silence. Was that the sound of glass hearts breaking? I looked up. His expression was careful, earnest. I look like him. Want to test that theory? His fluffy head nuzzled me. The cat outside still meowed, clawing the door. I nodded, stroking his damp hair, fingertips skimming sweat-slick brows. His eyes lit. He sat bolt upright. You mean, we're back together? I looped arms around his neck. But not yet. I whispered, they'd turn us into a PowerPoint. He pressed a fist to his lips, thinking. I get it, we'll be careful, protect both our reputations. Taboo sweetness filled the room. The phone rang, Theo's name glared. Movie over already? Adrian reached over to decline. The call kept coming, stubborn. Before he exploded, I pushed him off and sat up. Client needs first, always. This time I was the one by the bed, buttoning my shirt with lazy grace. Next morning my WhatsApp blew up. Theo fled. Dude, you posted pics of us sleeping like dead pigs. So what if I left before you woke? Break up fast, your girl's heart is taken. I'd barely hit send when he rang, frantic. It's not that. Big trouble. I think Adrian's possessed. I brushed my teeth. What's he done now? In Theo's version, Adrian had turned into a doting dad overnight. He'd slipped in to tuck Theo in, cooked a breakfast banquet of every favorite food, sliced the steak, even held his chair. His behavior is too weird, I swear. Theo's voice dropped, deadly serious. Adrian's fallen for me. Even if it's taboo, he's head over heels. I swallowed a mouthful of toothpaste foam. You're nuts. You've been coding your thesis too long. Is Adrian straight? I'd had living proof last night. Theo rattled on like a machine gun. He found out I have a girlfriend and realized his deep, bone marrow love. Adrian won't abuse power to lighten my workload. He's telling me he's got my back no matter what. I'm actually touched. I couldn't take any more. Get yourself checked. That's not Adrian. How would you know him better than I do? Theo was bewildered. What kind of person Adrian is? How come you know better than me? I choked. No answer. The whole Hawthorne clan is insane. Every single day I have to lie to one person and soothe another. I can't take it anymore. Theo claimed he had plenty of experience curing Adrian of indecent thoughts. He bought a Switch, dragged my hand into the frame, snapped a picture, and posted it on Instagram with the caption, "My girl really loves me, our bond is unbreakable." Then he forced me to like it and leave a gushing comment. Before I could explain anything to Adrian, his message popped up. I saw his post. How does he still rate gifts from you? Are you trying to placate me? He followed it with a photo. You buy him the latest game console, but for me you pick a collar that's one size too small? In the picture was a masonry-style tag engraved with my name and phone number. I stared at it, speechless. Today's date was officially ruined. I drew a slow breath, turned to Theo, and smiled. How many days until your thesis defense? If you can't finish, I'll finish it for you. Just get the hell out of here, fast. Thanks to my grinding, he finally submitted. I thought the clouds had parted until Mrs. Hawthorne announced she wanted to meet me. Theo dropped to his knees, wrapped both arms around my leg, and sobbed like a wreck. He swore this was the final act. He'd make his mother give up for good. One last favor, please. I pressed my fingers to my temples and looked skyward. Seeing him so pitiful, I caved. He was her nephew, after all. Just one more time. Standing outside the wrought iron gates of the Hawthorne estate, cold sweat filmed my palms. Wasn't I here to see Mrs. Hawthorne? Why was Adrian here too? Mom. This is Jillian. Nice to meet you, ma'am. Theo grinned like a happy retriever, his hand resting lightly on the small of my back, playing the role of the attentive boyfriend to perfection. Behind Mrs. Hawthorne, Adrian stood with arms crossed and face thunderous. I wanted to laugh but didn't dare. Inside, the crystal chandelier spilled soft light across the mahogany dining table. Theo and his mother really were cut from the same cloth. Couldn't they feel how surreal the air had turned? Mrs. Hawthorne was delighted with me. She even clasped my hand and told Adrian to stop being picky, someone like me would do nicely. Adrian occupied the seat beside the head, his long fingers spun a crystal flute in idle circles, the blade of his gaze skating across my exposed shoulder line before settling on Theo's and my joined hands, the corner of his mouth compressing a millimeter. I kept my head down and shoveled food in, afraid to look up. I only heard his voice, edged with something between a growl and a laugh. Miss Sterling is quite a catch. If I were Theo, I wouldn't let go either. My chopsticks clattered to the floor. Theo bent to retrieve them. I waved him off. Because under the table Adrian's shoe had pinned the spike of my heel. I lifted my eyes and met fathomless darkness. His expression stayed unruffled as he cut his steak, signaling the server for a fresh pair of chopsticks. But his shoe slid up my ankle, pressure steady and deliberate, a silent interrogation. Mrs. Hawthorne piled more food on my plate. "Jillian, make yourself at home, just like family. Row in." Heat scorched my ears. I tried to tuck my leg away, but his longer limb pinned me effortlessly. Theo kept glancing at his phone, earning a sharp look from his mother. Abruptly he stood. "I have to go," he announced, then patted my shoulder. "Eat up, Jillian. Head home when you're done, I won't be driving you." 2 sets of chopsticks hit the table at once. Mrs. Hawthorne's face chilled. "Where exactly are you going?" Adrian actually blocked Theo's path, features stormy. "Miss Sterling is your girlfriend, and you're abandoning her here, just like that?" I could see Adrian's fury pulsing, tendons standing out as his fingers bit into Theo's arm. I rushed over and grabbed him. "Jillian cares about you, this is how you treat her?" Theo looked at Adrian, equal parts helpless and exasperated. "Uncle, I can't return your feelings. I'm already in love with someone else." The sound of a crystal flute shattering ricocheted through the room. Mrs. Hawthorne quivered, fingers stabbing between the 2 men. "Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful, Adrian, infatuated with your own nephew. The Hawthorne line dies here." What on earth was happening? Why did it feel like everyone was speaking different scripts? Confidentiality be damned, I blurted out the real arrangements among Theo, Adrian, and me. I clung to Adrian, terrified he might throttle Theo, and apologized frantically to Mrs. Hawthorne. Mother and son stared, processors clearly fried. Theo halted, inhaling sharply. "Bro uncle, are you stealing my girl?" Adrian hooked an arm around my shoulders in open claim. "You two were never a couple, how is that stealing?" "Emotionally, it counts." Before Theo could add more, Mrs. Hawthorne's palm cracked across his cheek. "You little liar, you still want that boy, don't you?" "Wait, what?" After additional slaps left his face technicolor, Theo finally wheezed the truth out. He was gay, had a first he'd never forgotten. When his mother broke them up he'd concocted this idiotic plan to make her give up on marrying him off. It succeeded, spectacularly. Mrs. Hawthorne couldn't even meet my eyes. Somehow word spread that Theo and I were engaged, prompting his first to fly home. The roller coaster left Mrs. Hawthorne's heart racing. In the end she capitulated. Classic tragic heroine arc, thankfully he wasn't the leading man. In a way, every Hawthorne was deliciously indecent. When the farcical dinner finally ended, Adrian led me outside. Sunset hung midway, gilding the narrow path, stretching our shadows long. His brows finally relaxed, relief softening his features. Good. At least I'm not the other man. I rose on tiptoe and brushed a kiss to his jaw. Professor Ellis's seduction routine was flawless, you reeled me right in. He narrowed his eyes, lips parting. "Seems you enjoy toying with me." Guilt pinged. I tried to bolt, but he locked me against him, fingertips gliding up my spine to circle the dimple at the base. His nose grazed my ear, a teasing tickle. "Kitten, I never said you couldn't play." Our fingers laced, no intention of letting go. Foreheads touching, breaths mingling, he laughed softly. "Play all you want, just don't break up with me again. I've got you now."